Oh, taking the news in stride yesterday that he is off to the bench just 4 weeks in.
He had to know.
You think so?
It was coming. If not this week, it's coming soon. He knew when he got the job it wasn't for the year.
Well,
yes.
Isn't that what the I know what I signed up for comment was?
That's
Sunday?
exactly it.
Well, had it have been, let me ask you this. Had they have, and Jason Lloyd is in from The Athletic. He's in for Ken Carman today, who's wrapping up his trip to Disney World. So if Flacco doesn't complete that pass to Njoku, get him lined up to kick the game-winning field goal against the Packers, would this have been a week earlier? Ken and I thought it was, just because how does Kevin Stefanski's in the locker room talking about how we stick together like we always do.
Yeah.
And, at that point, you're not going to make a move, even despite the fact that he had played lousy for the entire game and the offense was terrible.
Yeah, I was talking to Tyvis Powell at halftime of that Packers game, and I think I told him then, I think it's time to write that it's time to go to Dillon. And then they pull out that miraculous comeback. I don't think they would have made the move yet regardless. Even if they lost, I think they want to give him one more game. I think.
Yeah. Well, so we got the depth chart yesterday. Everybody was wondering, what does this mean? What does this mean for Flacco? Is he going to be done? Is he going to ask to get traded or cut or whatever? Well, he's the backup. He is the backup, at least for now. The question is, how long does that last? So obviously, as you can imagine, the media wanted to get into that locker room yesterday and talk to all involved, including Shedeur Sanders, who's been criticized for having to say anything as the third-string quarterback. Well, now he's the backup quarterback. Oh, and did he have anything to say yesterday in the locker room concerning the depth chart and that Joe Flacco and not Shedeur Sanders
here you go.
was picked?
Here's the questions.
Locally, anything to say? I guess yourself. I guess one more. I guess what do you think you have to show to the coaches just to have that belief in you that you can be ready?
What can you say?
Do I need to paint a picture here for the people in Radio Land?
As Spencer put on Twitter yesterday, pantomime is what.
Pantomime, that's a good word. Is that what he was doing yesterday?
I didn't see any box work. I didn't see any rope pulls.
He was opening his mouth.
Yes.
The words were not coming out. Maybe he had talked so much.
Lost his voice?
He lost his voice. Anyway, he was having fun yesterday, but yet, I knew exactly what he was doing. I was surprised that anybody was like, what is this? What is he doing? Well, he's been getting crushed by the Rex Ryans of the world and others for opening his mouth. Why is the third string quarterback having anything to say each and every week? Where is this happening around the NFL? And then yesterday, I think he was trying to have fun. Jason, were you having fun with him?
No, I was not in there. Why are we still talking to the third string quarterback? Why? Why is the media? Why are we doing this? And there's a lot of reasons to that the media gets blamed for things, and I think it's not exactly the case. In this one, you are 100% right to blame us. 100% right. Stop putting cameras and microphones in the face of the third string quarterback. He was never going to be the backup. Never. Anyone who pays any attention to this team, who knows how they think, who knows how they're operating, he was never going to be the backup. Stop talking to the third string quarterback. Stop. And if you're the Browns, stop letting him in the locker room during media availability.
That was my next point.
There are places all over that building to hide. It's 45 minutes. You tell him, go sit in the hot tub for 45 minutes.
Can I raise a slight objection? Give me a counterpoint?
Go ahead.
Jason Lloyd, if you are the editor-in-chief, I know you do have a nice little role over there at The Athletic, but if you're the editor-in-chief and you've got some young, intrepid Cub reporters who are asking you, what do I have to do today? You're not telling them to put a microphone?
I am not, no.
Did you see the numbers?
I know.
Spencer German, how many impressions?
I know.
On that yesterday, and he wasn't the only one. Everybody was paying attention. Looked up on the night show. On ESPN, Scott Van Pelt was showing the clip of Shedeur Sanders.
I don't care. Could we have a modicum of self-respect? Just a modicum. They are empty calories. It's all meaningless. No, I'm not. So it's funny because a couple weeks ago when the
12.7 million views on Spencer German's video.
When the and listen,
12.7 million views, and you're telling people to not put a microphone
yes,
in
that's
Shedeur
exactly what I'm
Sanders' face?
saying.
This guy's box office. Every time we mention him, look at the YouTube live right now. Every time we mention him, the numbers go
and they
crazy.
are empty, and they are empty calories. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. There's no substance there whatsoever. Like, this is the problem with media today, and I'm saying that as someone who's worked in the media for 25 years. What are we doing?
What we're doing is if you're monetizing properly in the digital space, we are making money. That's what we're doing on the backs of Shedeur Sanders.
No, listen, I'm not. You mentioned Spencer. I really like Spencer. I'm not picking on him. How much money is he going to make for those 12.7 million views?
Listen to Jason breaking it down.
Zero off Twitter. Zero.
Why is ESPN? Why is every national show? Why are the debate shows? Why is First Take every single day? First things first. Mulligan Stew and Breakfast Ball. Why are they bringing it up?
And this is why we are where we are. This is why. Because this is so stupid. It's so dumb. And the Browns have got to tell them, do not be in the locker room. Just don't be in there. If that's how it's going to be,
that is.
Don't go in there.
Honestly, from the Browns' perspective, and I honestly wonder how the Browns have been walking the line here, because I had heard, and we were joking about the production crew that follow him everywhere. They've been asking for a lot more access. They wanted more credentials for everybody to be able to film. Everything's a documentary now, and it's not just Shedeur, by the way. This is the next wave of quarterbacks coming up. This is the way they're being programmed.
Yeah.
It's obviously he is on another scale because of who his dad is. They have television contracts. He has a talk show.
Yeah.
I don't know, has anybody ever watched the talk show?
No.
The Deion Sanders, the dad of a quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, has a talk show, and not one person I know is actually tuned in. Is it on Tubi or Freebie?
Nobody
or
watches any shows anymore. They just watch clips.
Right.
Everybody just watches clips.
That is true. Everything we do is just, I do a 4-hour show, and it's just clips.
Clips.
That is amazing how that works. But I do wonder at what point the Browns are like, dude, we can't have it, because now
This is why 31 other teams said, we are not doing this. We are not making our third string quarterback or a backup quarterback the spectacle.
All right, let me ask the boss. You heard Jason Lloyd of The Athletic saying, stop putting a microphone in the face of Shedeur Sanders. Keith Britton, you're pretty good at this stuff, making these types of decisions. Are we doing it too much, Keith, or do you want more of our employees sticking microphones in the face of Shedeur Sanders?
Who is throwing out the first pitch of the Guardians game today? Put him out there. Fly him back from London, put him out there.
Well, it was Jan Gomes yesterday. I don't know if we know today.
I don't know.
By the way, I would agree with a lot of what Jason's saying, but I also see the numbers and people care, and people are in the chat every day, even without mentioning his name. They're mentioning him in this quarterback discussion. But I would also say, like, the Browns, obviously, there are parts of that building that do not want this talked about. They don't want this, like, out in the media all the time. His name, like, you can tell Kevin's annoyed when he gets asked some of these questions, and I don't know how he truly feels about Shedeur, but from the media, the questions that he's getting yesterday, even about making Shedeur the backup, he was very quick with his answer. You could tell he did not want any part of that. But also, you walk in that stadium on Sundays, and it's one of the first 2 or 3 jerseys that you see. So what message is that sending to people when the organization is trying to monetize off this? The organization is pushing it because they're selling jerseys. So what do you expect? Like, I don't know. Like, people get mad that the questions are asked, but the organization is wanting it both ways. They're wanting not the questions to be asked, but they're also pushing it and saying, buy his jersey because he's eventually going to be on the field.
They're the ones that invited this in when they drafted him. And this is why 31 other teams said, nope, not doing it.
But I will say, there's no way we joke about thought partners, thought companions. There's no way all sides of the building have the same messaging here, because this is causing problems for some of the building. Other parts of the building are loving every minute of this.
Yes. So let me ask you this, Jason, because I talked to Lima about this yesterday too.
Yeah.
The Joe Flacco backup experience right now, like if Dylan was to go down over the next 2 or 3 games, or if he just wasn't great or something wasn't clicking, they wouldn't probably hesitate to go back to Joe. But at what point does that turn from Joe to Shedeur? Because that can't be a long-term thing. Like a month from now, if you're giving Dylan 4 or 5 games and all of a sudden it's looking like, man, he's just not got it. We're out. The season's done. We also got to see what at that point you got to turn to Shedeur as the backup, right? I mean, he's got to be the next guy at that point.
No, I don't. I'm not going to say definitively no, like he's never going to play this year, but he's got a long way to go before he gets on the field. I think,
like if it's week 11, week 12, and they've got 4 or 5 games left, you think they would rather go back to Joe with the season over than Shedeur?
With where things are right now, yes. Now, Shedeur can make a lot of progress between now and week 11, week 12, and maybe that answer changes. Because I remember going through the DTR thing last year and thinking, all right, we'll just throw the kid out there. And boy, did those few weeks take a lot longer to get through than I thought that they would. So
well,
now,
I would tell you, as loud as the fans are now, they will be even louder at that point.
You can't worry about that. You can't worry about the fans if you're the Browns.
I know that, but they have obviously felt the pressure to this point. I don't know that, like, being 1-3, you would think that's a very short leash to Joe Flacco. Like, your season's not over. I mean, we all see the games and we all know that. But at 1-3, your season's not over. If you're turning away from Joe Flacco after 4 games, like, that's at that point, I would be, as a fan, I'm like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 games to go, and you're going back to Joe Flacco at that point. I'm getting pretty loud about Shedeur if you're never even giving the guy a shot.
Week 14, week 15, maybe. I mean, I have no way of predicting the future. I think Shedeur's got a long way to go before they feel comfortable putting him out on the field. A really long way to go.
We can all agree, like you led the discussion with, they put themselves in this position.
They put themselves in this position. They welcome this sort of tire fire when they
will happily take the numbers. Thank you.
Keith, how many reporters, how many on staff can you commit to going to every open locker room from here on out, seeing the numbers? 12.7 million views. I think they just got another 500,000 on Spencer German's account since we started talking about it.
I think it's crazy that people, I want to see the length. You know, they have the analytics that tell you how long people made it into the video, how long they watched it.
Right.
If there's no words coming out of his mouth, how are you watching that? Like, what are you trying? Are you lip reading? What are you doing?
Amazing. Thank you, Keith. I appreciate it. Let me go to the phones real quick because we got Matt Derry going to talk some Guards, baseball, Game 3 season on the line. I'm sure he'll be thrilled about all the Shedeur talk. Jim and Perry, go ahead. How are you, Jim?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Up?
I just don't really. Couple points. One, the season is over. Anybody who doesn't think that the season isn't over, they're lying to themselves. I've seen that offense. The offense isn't getting any better. The offensive line isn't getting any better. Our receivers aren't going to catch the ball. And I want to know who's evaluating these quarterbacks and what their track record is for saying if Shedeur has it or not. You know what I mean? Like, we haven't had anything here since Baker left. This team is like, it literally drives me nuts. It's like watching the Titanic, rooting for the ship. You get disappointed.
All right, Jim, thank you very much.
The ship hits the iceberg every time I see the movie.
I mean, obviously, the problem is that you didn't have the first-round picks, and so you knew the risk-reward of the Deshaun Watson thing. The risk was you had a Super Bowl team ready to go, top-5 quarterback, bring him in, and win at the highest level and compete with the Lamars, the Patrick Mahomes, the Josh Allens, the Joe Burrows. The flip side of that is if this doesn't work, and it was the total flip side.
Yeah.
What were you supposed to do?
It destroys your organization.
Yeah, and by the way, they made the playoffs a couple of years ago, so it didn't destroy them there. And they're still have one of the best defenses in the league.
They're paying for it now.
Let's go to Nicholas and Shard. Go ahead quickly.
Hey, guys, just wanted to chip in here real quick. Jason, you personally, if this is not Cleveland, are we even discussing about a backup quarterback who didn't say anything in the locker room?
Well, no, if he did this in Dallas or Detroit.
Are, but nationally they are.
Yeah, they're still doing it. Because it's Shedeur.
I get it, it's Shedeur, but it just seems like we've created this cauldron of mediocrity, and now we just keep fueling to the fire to it. It just seems like it's getting out of control.
All right, thank you. And Bryce in Cleveland, go ahead. Go ahead. We lost him. Let's go to Cool Ray. Cool Ray, what's up? Last comment on this.
Man? I'm going to make a comment because what's the narrative is what I'm upset about is that even Albert is over here calling this man stupid and dumb without really calling him stupid and dumb. They said he's so far behind Gabriel and that he's just stupid and dumb. We hear Rex Ryan talking about getting in front of the classroom, and we know.
Well, where do you think all that's coming from, Cool Ray? Where do you think?
That's actually coming from the Browns organization. We know that. But they're calling them stupid and dumb. And it's almost like, because I'm a military guy, and it's almost like what the Navy did in the early 60s by calling black people, saying that we couldn't become divers because we couldn't see at night. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying there's coded language coming out when it comes to the Shedeur conversation?
It's absolutely coded language because we know what he can do physically. they're basically saying he's just stupid. That's basically what they're calling it, and that's what's making everybody so upset. Like,
I listen, Corey, I'm so sorry. I gotta go. I wanted your comments out there because I saw them on the screen. I think this is what's driving the Shedeur people crazy. They feel like he doesn't get to react to what everybody is leaking about him. And to that, I understand. Like, that's got to be very frustrating.
Well, he's got a camera in his face every week now. He can react however he wants.
Well, what's his next move? Because Keith Britton and all the bosses in town and nationally, they're going to flock to this. They smell the blood. There are going to be cameras in his face every single time. And now I do wonder, how does Shedeur deal with this? Maybe more importantly, how do the Browns deal with it? Because it does feel like a one-sided attack right now on Shedeur, who's just, by all accounts, he's working. He's working. He might be at Baldwin Wallace. He might be at a high school near you, but he's trying to get back on the field.